Adam Smith, for the first time in about roughly a year, took to social media to give people an update. Judging by this, it's kind of implying that he's going to be leaving Sky if he's not already left it. Adam Smith, for those who don't know, has been head of boxing at Sky for many years now. He's been with the company, the business as a whole, since I think the 90s, the mid to late 90s. So he's been with them a long time. He's commentated on some great fights. He's commentated on, some great domestic fights, some great international fights. Adam Smith as a commentator, some people really like him, but the majority don't. But one thing I've always said about Adam Smith, do I like him as a commentator? Not really. But when there's those dramatic moments in fights, those big dramatic moments, I think of, when I mentioned American fights there, one fight that came to my mind was just the moment in it was Shane Mosley versus Mayweather. If you ever seen the Sky feed of that, when Mosley rocks Mayweather, how animated Adam Smith gets. And that's one thing I did like about him on commentary, I will say. When it was a big dramatic moment in a fight, he was someone, if that was his main job, just kind of hold out for the dramatic moment, that'd be great, because he was great at doing the commentary when something real dramatic happened. For the most part, he wasn't my cup of tea on commentary. But he's been away for the last year. I think it was October 2022 was the last time we really heard from Adam Smith in any capacity. There was a lot of rumours as to what was going on. The most kind of commonly used one was that he had some kind of gambling problem. Now, look, rumours get thrown around. And when that came out, I was kind of like, he doesn't fit the kind of criteria you'd expect for someone to have that. That's not to say, there are not, people like Adam Smith who do have that issue. I'm sure there are, but he just didn't come across that type of person. Others speculated it might have been a fallout with Ben Shalom. That was one I kind of did think about, but at the same time, Adam Smith over the last few years hasn't just been doing boxing. He's kind of branched out to other things in the world of Sky. So he's actually been doing, since I think 2020, I think it's when he started doing it, was when he started commentating on darts. And actually, Adam Smith commentating on darts, you get an A+ from me, because he was very good as a commentator on it. Very, very good. He was able to take that boxing energy, and because with darts, you kind of have to kind of not necessarily keep on it the whole time, but probably a bit more so than there's never really a lull in the darts. There's always something to kind of go back and forth with. Whereas boxing kind of, if there's a bit of a lull, you start going into story mode and stuff like that. He didn't really do that in darts. He was a lot better at that. And he disappeared from that as well. So I kind of thought, okay, it's hardly just going to be Shalom if he's losing the darts as well. And, you heard people like Johnny Nelson, kind of give kind of cryptic interviews. And I heard a rumour this year, I can't remember when, it was earlier in the year, that Adam Smith's health wasn't the best and that he was suffering. Again, without anyone to confirm it, I was taking this all at face value, but the rumour mill was that he had cancer. All right. Unfortunately, that rumour did turn out to be true. Well, God knows you wouldn't wish that on anybody. But thankfully, in this statement, Adam Smith is on the mend. And we 100% want to hear that. Thank the good God, he is on the mend. I'll read the statement he did here. It says, "Hope everyone is well. New, exciting beginnings and challenges for me after an incredible, a wonderful 3-decade journey at the amazing place that is Sky Sports. A brutal year away, recovering from serious ill health has given me the opportunity to think of the wider passion in sport, taking a deeper interest in the development of sports, men and women, and presenting commentary on a broader canvas. I am cancer free." Wonderful to hear. 100%. That's the words you want to hear. And he's raring to go. "Thanks to everyone at Sky. I'll support my talented colleagues past and present for the most magical memories. Time flies and I cannot wait." So kind of is implying that he's going down other areas. What they may be, we do not know. But in terms of Adam Smith, again, delighted that his health is okay. That's the main thing. It's the most important thing. We're happy to hear that. In terms of Adam Smith, when you look at his time at Sky, certainly the last year at Sky, and I mean the year he's been away, so from kind of October last year to now, it really hasn't been particularly good. In terms of the boxing end of it, Shalom has kind of been, how would you describe it? Do you want to say unfiltered? Because I did hear, before Adam Smith stepped away, that, there was a bit of a kind of tug of war between the two and what direction they want to go in. And I think that the quality of shows has been abysmal. I mean, many people have said the same. The crazy thing is that show they did with Chamberlain versus Michaela Wall, that was actually pretty good, which is one of the few shows they've done which was pretty good and memorable. The rest have been abysmal. It's really poor. The matchmaking has been shocking. I mean, beyond shocking. It really hasn't been good, the product at all. And I wonder with someone like Adam Smith, who has a genuine love of boxing, a passion for boxing, say whatever you want to say about him. People were saying he's like the Mr. Bean of boxing. And what? It's funny the way people will say things or point something out about someone and you never really think about it. And then when you hear it, you look and you're like, oh my God, and all you can see is Rowan Atkinson. I remember going a bit off top, but I remember years ago, maybe about 10 years ago now, a job I was in for about nearly 2 years, and I was mates with a guy there and went to lunch with him, everything, got on fine, never noticed anything. And then one day I was out with my friend in a bar in Swords, and this guy wasn't from Swords, but he was there. Came over, said hi, introduced me to his mate, introduced him to my mate. And the first thing, my friend being proper blunt, first thing he says is, that's your mate from where? I was like, yeah. He goes, some pair of ears on him. And I was like, what? I never even noticed his ears. He goes, they're massive. And I noticed them after that, and yeah, they were massive. For a year, I never noticed them until he said it. You do often find that. And since I've heard that, it's like, God, I could see Rowan Atkinson there and Adam Smith. I really can. But all joking aside, he definitely does love his boxing. He knows what he's looking for in boxing, and he knows. Look, Eddie Hearn, when Eddie Hearn was doing great things in British boxing, there was times where Adam Smith was, keeping him in check. I remember when he started with DAZN in late 2018, and Adam Smith, I'm paraphrasing, but he was kind of commentating that, the UK shows, the strength needs to be there still with them. You can't just solely focus on the US. So even when Eddie Hearn was doing, great things in the world of British boxing, he was still saying, no, hang on a minute. The shows here have to be at a certain level as well. And, I look at Eddie Hearn now on DAZN. And yeah, the cards have been okay. But when you look at the broadcast team, which has Eddie Hearn written all over it, right? Would Adam Smith have let even half those guys on? Because I've always said, out of all the three in the UK, you have TNT, you have Sky, and you have DAZN. DAZN, and I think most people would say that is universally seen as the worst in terms of the broadcast team. And I concur. You take Ade out of the equation, who does a great job. Regardless, me and him are obviously have a good relationship, but he does do a very good job. Most people would agree with that. Other than Ade, I mean, it is literally Eddie Hearn's mates. And oh my God, the commentary is awful. It's just Darren Barker, it's just awful. And if Adam Smith was running things there, I guarantee you he would at least try and dilute it a little bit. Sky commentary has never been its strongest suit since we've lost, Jim Watt and Ian Darke. But it was never, even when we thought Sky was bad, it was never as bad as the way DAZN's team are. It's the worst. It really is. And it has Eddie Hearn written all over it. He literally got all of his mates. Mike Costello, I don't know why he liked Costello so much, but he got Costello, he got Barker, he got Bellew, and now he's got Sonny Edwards does a good job, to be fair, but it's all Matchroom. And, Ade does his own shows with DAZN as well, so Ade does a great job as well, but, take him out of the equation, and it's just like, oh my God, it's like, Eddie Hearn was like, right, this is what I want, this is what we're getting. It was never as bad with Sky. No, it's never as bad with Sky. So that's my thoughts. Adam Smith, what next from here? Who knows? I would imagine he is someone who will do something in boxing, whether it be with TNT, maybe DAZN. Maybe that's what DAZN need in terms of just a head of boxing to kind of oversee things and say, hang on, this might work better than this. I don't know, I'm only speculating. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Adam Smith, we hear from him. Thank God he's okay. Let me know. I'll leave it there. Smash the like button on the way in or on the way out, people. I'll talk to you.